host of Sonatas and Soundscapes on South Carolina Public Radio, and one of your hosts for this live edition of America, the Land We Live In. Joining me tonight is SCETV's very own Beryl Dakers, as well as Scott Doc Varn, here to talk about his new show and his connections to South Carolina. Doc, Beryl, welcome.
And thank you, Bradley. We are excited because not only do we have a brand new PBS show to talk about, but we've got the host here, and we're going to check out this guy. I'm going to call him Doc because that's who you are in the program, right?
That's my trail name, and that's who I get called all the time. So
Alrighty.
Please do.
All right. Well, now tell us I won't say in 10 words or less, but no, really, tell us what this show is all about, Scott.
Well, it's about an amazing adventure that started 150 years ago with a publication called Picturesque America. So now we get the privilege to follow in the footsteps and the brushstrokes of the artist from the 1800s.
Now you can't be moving and stuff. Leave it.
Leave it there? Is this good? You like
For
this?
just a moment.
Yeah.
Let us see what we're looking at. Okay. All right. You said the artist and the brushstrokes. So does that mean this is an art show?
Somewhat. It's all about the arts in that what the artist can do through the power of the arts. This publication and the artists and the writers helped start the conservation movement in America. And that's why in this show, we're trying to find the exact places they were 150 years ago.
Okay, so conservation movement sounds like it's also a nature show.
Somewhat, yeah. It's a lot of adventure, a lot of time in nature, but we also get the wonderful opportunity to go to Charleston, South Carolina, and look at more history. So we blend in the history, we blend in nature, as well as the arts.
How do you pick these locations? You said Charleston, that just happens to be coming up in the show we're going to watch tonight.
That's right.
But you don't stay in Charleston, so.
We're also in North Carolina. So we get to have a wonderful adventure on the French Broad, which we're going to be sharing with your audience. But all of these places were picked in the 1800s just because they were beautiful, amazing, and as they called them, picturesque places that they felt like shouldn't be lost. And because of their efforts, so many of these places are state and national parks today.
So where do you come in?
Well, about 14 years ago, I was lucky enough to discover this. I was a printmaker. I went to USC right here, not far from here, and I learned the beautiful, antiquated art form of printmaking. So I'd do woodcuts. And I was inspired when I found, I'm going to open to a page here, I found this print, and it got me back to doing my artwork. This one here of Lover's Leap in western North Carolina along the Appalachian Trail. And in the show, we're going to be hunting for this particular place.
So let me get this straight. You go out, you have a general idea where these places are, but you go and you literally try to find the place, and then you sit down and do what?
Well, first we go through all the clues, because it's not easy to find, and they didn't leave us any GPS coordinates, so, not from the 1800s. So I look for visual clues in the artwork, but I also go through to see where they were on the map. So every time they mention a place, I put a little pin in that on a real map until I can figure out the route that they took. And in this case, Sophia and I are going to be taking the same route they did 150 years ago to see if we can find these places, bring attention to it, and hopefully preserve it for the future.
Okay, and by preserve it for the future, you mean you are going to create an artwork?
I'm definitely going to do that. And this is actually one of the ones I did that you'll see I did on the show.
Okay, sounds interesting to me. But before we head into this show, I do want to remind our viewers that when they donate during this program, we have some great thank you gifts, like copies of the French Broad edition of Picturesque America, as well as PBS Classic Tote Bags, and much, much more. So stay tuned. You'll be learning more about that and the upcoming events with Doc himself, who happens to be, well, almost a Charleston boy, huh? Sort of via
From the
Lexington
Lowcountry, yeah.
and Murrells Inlet and all those kinds of places. But these will be exclusive to SCETV viewers. So give us a call right now at 800-256-8535 to learn more.
This program was made possible in part by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
An epic treasure hunt.
Go, go, go!
Clues that go back 150 years.
Stunning.
And now, a brand new adventure across America.
This is so amazing!
Retracing the steps of early explorers, artists, and writers.
I think this is it!
No doubt about it.
The daring journeys.
Let's go! Let's go!
The forgotten secrets of the country's very first travel guide.
That starts clinching it for me.
For two explorers, it's the quest of a lifetime.
We found it!
To rediscover America's extraordinary treasures. In the aftermath of the Civil War, a group of artists and writers set out to reunite the country. Their mission? To discover and celebrate America's picturesque wonders. Their artwork and tales were bound into the very first travelogue for this brand new nation, but it's been largely forgotten until now. A new chapter is about to begin at America's largest private home, the Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina.
Hold up, am I in France or North Carolina?
Grand, opulent. It was George Vanderbilt's country estate at the height of the Gilded Age.
This is incredible.
I'm a photojournalist focused on cultural anthropology. The past is a guide to the present.
It makes you feel so small.
Inside this private residence is a library teeming with rare books.
Oh, there's just so many details. I am a woodcut artist and also do watercolors. I couldn't help but fall in love with the technology of art that was hundreds of years old. I'm comfortable in the 1800s. It seems like home to me.
Here we are.
One of the most amazing libraries on the planet.
And inside the library,
This is a dream library.
a treasure of its own. It's the key to rediscovering America's greatest treasures. Picturesque America. A monumental publication, over 950 images across 65 serials, with art and prose by valiant explorers who changed the way Americans saw their country.
Let's go.
Let's dive in.
Now, Sophia and Doc hope to connect the past to the present.
We're going to be following those clues from picturesque America to find the exact location where the artists were and share how it is today.
The challenge is finding the locations when you don't think they will still exist after 150 years. It's kind of daunting.
A great majority of the artwork in picturesque America was created by artist Harry Fenn.
I cannot wait to follow in Harry's footsteps to find these places.
He was one of the most prolific landscape artists of the 19th century.
He did so much of this. There were other artists involved, but he was the key artist.
The editor was the famed romantic poet, William Cullen Bryant.
William Cullen Bryant was all about nature, embracing it, taking it in.
Yeah.
The passion and influence of Fenn, Cullen Bryant, and Vanderbilt contributed to the conservation movement in the United States.
Let's look for the clues that are going to help us find all of these places.
Sophia and Doc will dive into the adventure, starting with the French Broad chapter.
Well, the French Broad. It's a big river. It covers 2 states.
One of the things we have to figure out is the route they took.
The Buncombe Turnpike, which is also mentioned, it's the main thoroughfare of the time.
Sophia and Doc head outside to get a lay of the land.
Doc, look at this view and not a skyscraper in sight.
They are joined by Lauren Henry, Biltmore Curator of Interpretation.
These are the views that George Vanderbilt fell in love with. At its peak, the estate was about 125,000 acres,
Wow.
so pretty much everything that you can see.
I can see why the Vanderbilts came here.
This is recognized as the birthplace of American forestry.
Wow.
So in the French Broad, they didn't give us all the hints we wish they had. But looking at this map, does this tell you anything that would help us? Can you give us any more clues?
I do know that the Buncombe Turnpike actually passed through part of what is the estate today, just right near our entrance.
I like the sound of this.
Yeah, so you started in the right place and certainly followed the French Broad River. I see warm springs on this map here. And
Oh, yes.
I'm wondering if that might be what we call hot springs today here in North Carolina.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we know where we're heading to next. Let's go to Hot Springs.
The treasure hunt has only just begun. Their first major clue: follow the historic Buncombe Turnpike north along the French Broad River to Hot Springs, North Carolina. In the 1800s, it would have been a day's journey in a stagecoach. Today, the trip is only an hour's drive, but Hot Springs remains off the beaten path. It's the gateway to the Great Smoky Mountains. Here, their goal is to hunt for the exact locations of images in the French Broad chapter. Their first order of business: talk to the locals for clues.
We're kind of on a hunt, Sophia and I.
We are looking for the exact location that the artist Harry Fenn stood to capture these gorgeous images.
Yeah, where was he?
150 years ago.
Yeah, that's a great concept.
Sophia is a first-generation American, here from New York City.
Being first generation, I'm starting a new story in this country. Being able to absorb people's stories really makes me understand the world around me.
You got any idea where that might be?
I would assume that this would be nearer the headwaters, but you know, I'm just guessing.
I've traveled all over the world, and I have really never explored the American South.
Have you seen any rock formations like that?
No.
As an artist, I'm so focused on the visual clues. Does this even look familiar to you guys?
No.
No? Okay. Buried within those images is all the clues we need, but they're not always easy.
No matter the challenge, Doc has dedicated his life to this quest.
Before I die, I'm going to find every one of them. It just says the Smoky Mountains, and that's kind of broad.
Hello.
We're looking for Wayne.
I might be Wayne. Yeah. No, I'm Wayne. Yeah.
This is Sophia.
Hi.
Hey, Sophia.
Very nice to meet you.
And Doc. That's my trail name.
So what's up, Doc?
We're actually on kind of a treasure hunt.
Well, I have a map room upstairs I can show you all on big maps.
Wayne Crosby came to Hot Springs on the Appalachian Trail over 30 years ago and never left.
Whoa.
Now we're talking.
Oh my gosh, this is better than Google Maps. It's 3D.
So that's where we are now. So where's the French Broad? It's connecting us, right?
Yeah, it pretty much follows right along through there, down towards the loop, and then it goes on to Tennessee.
Their route took them along the French Broad.
That was the original road back then, was the Drover's Road.
So that's the route along the river.
And that's the oldest road in this
The oldest
area.
road through the area. It
Okay.
came, over the Lone Pine Gap, and then down to the river and followed the river up to Asheville.
That's good that we're on the right track.
Happy trails to you.
Yeah, maybe I'll pull you out of the river.
We might need all the help we can get.
Word travels fast in a small town like Hot Springs. Local historian Taylor Barnhill caught wind of their treasure hunt and invited Doc and Sophia to stop by.
Welcome to the paradise of nowhere.
We're on an adventure to find all of the places from picturesque America all over the country, but we don't know where these locations are. So hopefully you can help us identify some of these places.
That's the Drover's Road, right?
You recognize it?
The first interstate highway.
This one might be a little bit more of a challenge. Mountain Island.
Well, there's a lot of mountain islands in the French Broad River. It's a big river.
And then we're looking for this one. They talk about Lover's Leap. This is approach by night. Another view of Lover's Leap.
This is not far away. This is 10 minutes away.
From where we are?
Really? Could you give us directions, or?
I'll take you over there.
Even better.
More than 1,000 years ago, the Cherokee came to Hot Springs for the healing power of the geothermal springs.
What a quaint town you have here.
Isn't it amazing?
The town grew up around the springs and became a popular destination for tourists, artists, and writers back in the 1800s.
Wait, you guys? We're officially on it?
We are.
Hot Springs is one of 3 places where the Appalachian Trail is also Main Street.
Oh my gosh.
Appalachian Trail.
We need to commemorate this.
We'll take a feedie.
Our feet have officially been on the Appalachian Trail.
Rough-looking crowd.
Everyone say AT.
We are on the Drovers Road right now. Drovers were usually men and boys driving small herds of animals, turkeys, geese, pigs, lots of pigs. And they wanted to upgrade the old Drovers Road to where they could run stagecoaches and wagons better.
That's the key thing for us, because it's literally in the artwork, is the stagecoach.
Hold up right there. We're here. Step back a few steps.
Oh, that is one serious chunk of rock. We need to compare it to the original. And there we are.
But wait, look, the road is too narrow.
Well, 150 years ago, right? Over the years, the flooding has deposited all this sediment up here, which made it narrower.
Hey, guys, look here at the rock face.
This is Lover's Leap?
This is Lover's Leap.
This is great. We found the spot. But there's more. Let's go.
All right.
Lover's Leap is so dramatic. Harry Fenn depicted not one, but two images of it.
Given the foliage, I think let's move back a little further.
Yeah. This feels good. You're right, I can still see those same cracks. Look at that. This is it.
Wonderful. I love this.
I gotta paint this.
Wait, you know this is Lover's Leap, right?
Now we know.
Have you heard the legend?
No.
Oh, it's a ghost story.
Ooh.
The legend of Lover's Leap is a tragic, star-crossed romance.
Many, many years ago, there was a Cherokee maiden. Her name was Mist on the Mountain.
The Romeo and Juliet of Western North Carolina.
And she was betrothed to a man in her own tribe named Tall Pine. But she was in love with another. His name was Magua.
One night, the young pair decides to meet on a full moon, here at Lover's Leap.
So they pull their canoe right up over there.
Just as they hop ashore, Tall Pine comes paddling across the river and takes Magua's life.
She starts running up from the riverbank. She climbs up to the top. Tall Pine was right on her heels, and she leaps.
So sad.
It's a sad story. And many people have seen her ghost here around the rock and even on the top of the rock. You guys really need to get up to the top.
Really helpful these ropes are here.
Yes. I
This
got
tree
you.
holds me.
Quite slippery.
It's like we're in a jungle. This is much steeper than it looked. Oh my goodness. Stunning.
And see why it encouraged so many people to change the way they thought about the natural world.
Mr. Taylor!
Taylor!
You made it.
That was spot on. We loved it, but we did not leap.
Well, I'm deep into this book.
That's our next vantage point.
Beautiful up toward Mountain Island.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this Whitewater is going to be up the turnpike.
Thank you so much for showing us both sides of Lover's Leap.
You're welcome. You'll have to come back on a full moon, remember?
The river's getting louder. We must be getting closer.
Wait, Doc, this is definitely a dead end.
They got around this thing with hogs and turkeys. There's got to be a way around this.
There's no way. I think we gotta get back to town and get new clues. Hey, Wayne. How's it going?
Good.
We're back.
Yeah, how's your search going?
Well, we found one pretty fast.
Yeah, but we hit rock. Literally straight into rock, could not go around it.
Well, when the Drovers Road was there, they used to use what they called side fords around the rock cliffs.
Okay.
And those are all gone. You know, they would have been made out of wood or rock piled in, and floods would have taken them away. So there literally is no way to get up there
We found that out.
without getting in a boat.
So we have to hit it by water.
You have to hit it by water if you want to get to that area.
No trails.
No trails. And that's a class 4 rapid. You might want to find somebody that can help you through that. A friend of mine, Sarah Jones, she might be somebody that could take you down the river.
Hello, you must be Sarah.
Sarah Jones Decker has been running the French Broad River for more than 20 years.
What are y'all getting into?
A lot of it starts with this.
May I?
Oh, yes.
This is Picturesque America, and this is the French Broad section.
Beautiful book.
This is, to us, one of the trickiest ones. It just says Mountain Island on the French Broad. I mean,
We're hearing that there are several islands on the river.
There are a lot of islands on the French Broad, but there is one that we still call Mountain Island today.
Oh, that's the proper name of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
can we take an alternate trail to get there, or?
We're gonna have to go down the river. How do you feel about that?
That's not a bad thing to me.
Definitely not something I do normally in Manhattan, but you know.
You don't have class 4s in Manhattan,
right? So I'm ready.
Okay.
The main clue in this image is also the biggest challenge: major whitewater rapids.
We're gonna be going through a class 4 rapid today. Does anybody know what the most dangerous thing in the boat is today besides Doc? Okay, this is a T-grip. Do you guys know what summer teeth are? Some are here, some are there, some are in the river. You feel like you're gonna fall out? Don't. Fall in. Let's do this thing.
Let's do it.
All right, y'all, welcome to the mighty French Broad. This is all national forest. We're not gonna see any structures down here. There's no mega mansions.
No skyscrapers?
No. That's your world, City Mouse. What's really special about this section is it probably looks really close to the way Harry saw it. Okay, y'all ready?
Ready.
Let's go 2 forward.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
You
yes.
ready for it?
Hard, hard, hard. Go, go, go.
Woo-hoo! Now we're talking.
That was not number 4?
No.
Let's go 2 forward.
That was not a class 4. So there would have had to be a bridge or a ferry here. This side of the river, not this side.
Yeah, it's definitely on that side.
Okay. That's the route Harry would have taken. We got to follow Harry in his footsteps
All right, guys,
and
that's
his
enough.
brush strokes, and apparently his paddle strokes today.
All right, guys, so we're coming up on Mountain Island here. Hey, all forward, all forward.
Woo! Now it's up there. Here we go. Hang on. Fall in, not out.
All the way in, y'all. Take me to the shore.
We have to find the magic spot, so help me line this up, Sophia. We got to be close.
So,
You've got your V right here.
and then you
coming
don't
in.
have the 2 ridges. This is just one.
We have to be close, but you don't see this, right? We don't have this big monster eddy here.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of years of erosion.
True.
But
I think we should move downstream and keep looking. Okay, let's go all forward. We are at our class 4 for the day. This is the mighty Frank Bells Rapid. Frank Bells is the deep swim. Okay, it's deep and dark and cold down there. Gonna be a lot of water and a lot of movement, and you guys gotta listen to me.
So, if we do fall in,
Don't panic, stay calm, and then you are gonna actively swim to river right. This is the big stuff. Oh gosh. Go 2 forward.
you ready?
All back. Okay, guys, ready? All forward, all forward, all forward. Lean in. Oh my God! All forward, let's go! Yeah! Keep it up, let's go! Y'all ready?
Yes.
Yikes! Welcome back to this live edition of America, the Land We Live In. I'm Beryl Dacres, and of course in the studio we have our own Bradley Fuller, but next to me is this weird guy that you just saw rafting down the French Broad, Scott Doc Varn. And Doc, what was that experience like?
Oh, that's my happy place. More adrenaline, the better. I mean, you start on the river like that, it's so calm and peaceful, and you really just taken back to where it was 150 years ago. And then you remember, wait a minute, I have to go down class 4 rapid. Thank God we had a wonderful guide in Sarah.
Okay, well, different strokes for different folks, but I'm glad that you were able to experience that.
Oh, that's what we have to do
for
to
us.
get there sometimes.
And then obviously you survived.
I'm here to tell the tale.
Obviously you survived. I want to ask you though about the Lover's Rock that we saw.
Lover's Leap, yeah.
Lover's Leap,
Yeah.
because that was so majestic, and I understand that that's very special to this program.
It is, absolutely. It was one of the first places I ever found, and it's what helped start the project. It was near and dear to my heart, and I said, wait, I know where that is. And if I can find that, maybe I can find more. And there's over 900 images in here for us to find. And we want to share those with the PBS audience.
900?
956, but who's counting?
Multiple images of the same site sometimes.
Yes, sometimes of the same site. There's 2 images of a Lover's Leap, but most cases it's just one. But
you know, for the antiquarians who may be watching, those books are very special.
they are. Because of what they have done, this was something that was accessible to almost everyone during the time, because they could get it as a serial. For 50 cents, you could get a serial every month, and then eventually you would bind it into these beautiful books that might be sitting on a coffee table and would inspire you to get out there and enjoy this world we live in.
Those are just beautiful. Well, we actually got to see your sidekick with you on the show.
Sophia.
Tell us about Sophia, because I understand that she is actually live right now.
She is.
And she's available to our viewers, right?
She can answer questions, I think on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. So if you got any questions for Sophia, she'll give you the real scoop.
Is it Facebook and YouTube, maybe?
Sure.
Okay.
Works for me.
So they can just do that little thingy and
do the thing all day long, and she'll be ready to answer questions.
Is there a favorite adventure in this segment that you have?
That's like, picking your favorite children, right? I mean, there's so many, there's points that are sublime and you can relax and fall into and fall in love with. And there's the adventures like we're having on the French Broad when we hit the Class 4. But it's also places like Biltmore, and then soon we'll be going to Charleston and seeing how well they have done to restore those places and to keep them up and keep the history going to today. I love it when we take the past and in the future protect it, so that everyone can enjoy it. And we lose our perspective when we don't look at things from the past. So that's why we're doing this. It's about history as well.
And that also sort of explains why you are almost in character there. You look very much like you could have been there during the 1800s.
I'm comfortable in the 1800s. Everything I do, the way I do my artwork, and I'm a woodcut artist, so that's the technology of the 1800s, and I enjoy it.
And then we have Sophia to bring us back to the present, or to keep us.
Yeah, she keeps me straight.
But speaking of adventures, we are excited to offer 2 events for our donors to choose from when they make a gift of $250 or more. So, Doc, tell us what you have planned for our audience.
I'm going to be doing 2 things. One is going to be an event, hopefully here on the USC Horseshoe, where I'm going to do a speaking event. I do this a lot for places like the Sierra Club and other conservation groups, but I'll be talking about the history, Picturesque America's importance in the conservation movement, all the artists that made it happen. So it'll be a talk that's not too academic. It'll be a lot of fun. And we'll also be telling a few of the scenes from this show. We'll be taking you back behind some of the secrets. And the second thing we have to offer will be based off of, let me open this back up again, we'll be doing a show. There's an art show that we do specifically for conservation, and this time it's going to be in Charleston, South Carolina. Upcoming, you'll see some of the scenes from Charleston, but here's an example. So this is the Lover's Leap that everyone just saw. Well, we had a show in North Carolina, and so this is the original, and then we had artists all come out together, and we surround the original artwork with artwork like we have here from Sandy Moore. And she did a brilliant watercolor at the same place. And then this on this side is the woodcut I did from the exact same place where the artist was 150 years ago.
That's amazing. That really is amazing. Folks, tickets to these events are limited, so if you're interested in joining us for the afternoon of education and entertainment or the art show, give us a call now at 800-256-8535. That way you can secure your seats without worrying about it. And you get to be a part of, a real personal part of the experience.
I'm going to take them on a tour and I'll give them all the stories, everything behind the scenes.
Well, We can't wait to see what's coming up next, so let's go back to the show.
Paddles up. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, back to work. Back to work.
Guys. Here we are.
This is so much closer than before.
I mean, just looking at the rapid, we've got a lot more water. We've got a big eddy right here.
These mountain chains here, they're not quite lining up on perspective.
Why don't you go that way and we'll go this way? Holler if you find anything.
I think we're in the right spot.
I just think it's a matter of left or right.
I say we'll try until it gets dark.
Hey, Doc, are we close?
This is really lining up here.
All right, we're coming to you.
So all of a sudden, the mountains are opening up. See how they're kind of lining up?
Yeah.
There's our trees.
The trees are there. Everything lines up. Oh my gosh, and the two ridges. We did it!
Good job, you guys.
So now it's my turn to get to work.
Wayne's advice has set them up for success. So Sophia and Doc head back to his outfit for more clues on their treasure hunt.
Set the book down, we can look at it, and I can grab some maps.
Yeah.
The next image, simply labeled the Smoky Mountains. It's a beautiful but vague description.
This is going to be a challenge.
We know it's on the French Broad. We're assuming it's on the Buncombe Turnpike.
You know, the Smokies is a really big term, but there are these trails, and they're really kind of like old logging roads. It's pretty off the beaten path.
So what was the elevation around this height?
You're looking at about 1,500 feet. It's a 1,000 foot per mile hike up to the top, and then another 1,000 foot per mile hike down.
It's pretty much 45 degrees the whole way.
Yeah, it's a climb.
We're not in Central Park anymore.
Nope, definitely not.
One of the only clues Sophia and Doc have to go on is from Wayne.
Well, this is a good way to get a survey of things. I've been excited about this one.
Try to find the old logging road and look for a clearing down to the river.
So what's that starting elevation?
We're at approximately 1,200 feet, so 400 meters.
This is steeper than the Times Square subway station. My gosh, but same amount of dirt.
Let's just check elevation before we continue.
Good idea.
Where we are. We're roughly at 1,500 feet.
Let me check the map, though, to get the topography. He was saying somewhere around there we'd find the logging road. All right. So, okay, we're no longer in North Carolina. We're now crossed over into Tennessee.
First time crossing a state on foot.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exciting.
So, yeah, let's investigate a little more. Because based off of what he was saying, this could really be it. Sophie, look, new growth. So, see all the flatness here?
Remnants of the old logging road,
We don't even see the river from here.
but no clearing.
That's part of the problem, yeah.
Harry would have seen the river.
The best I think we can do is continue to get a ridge and we can see out.
Okay.
Hopefully there'll be a break in some of the forest.
Yeah, let's continue. We didn't bring camping gear, so we should keep going before sunset.
We'll be all right.
Well, I think I got service, so at least we can order some food.
I don't think they deliver up here.
We definitely are getting closer. We're at about 1,800
Okay.
feet right now,
Good.
so
After that 45-degree climb.
I can see the tops of the trees already. I think I see the clearing.
It's
We're
opening
really
up, yeah.
close.
And I see a little tiny bit of the French Broad, so we're getting closer.
I think the only way is up.
We're about out of up.
Okay, let's keep going a little further. Do you see it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, look how much of the river you can see. We almost look too high.
All right, let me check the elevation here.
Yeah, because it does seem like just perspective by eye, we're higher.
Look, we overshot.
This time they found a clearing, but not the vantage point for Harry Fenn's artwork.
I think we're really gonna have to come back tomorrow. The sun's going down, so.
Yeah. When we were on the logging road, we were more at the correct elevation. So many good vistas from here, though. At least we got to see the one at the top.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Wait, do you see? Pyramid Peak? Doesn't that look familiar to you? Oh my God, Doc, we're at elevation.
All right.
Can you bring out the book?
It's good that we went back down to actually see that.
I think this is it.
And just when we were losing
I think this is a Harry miracle. We found it. We found it.
Another one down.
Another one down.
Now it's time to get my sketchbook out.
Two weeks here in Hot Springs have earned Sophia and Doc an extended family status with the locals. Fly fishing guide Aaron Goswell takes Sophia out on the river.
So have you ever done this before?
I've never held a fishing pool.
Like, ever?
Once at a sporting goods store.
Oh, wow. Everything's about rhythm, whether it's the tides of the ocean or here in western North Carolina. So when you bring it back, I want you to breathe. Inhale, and as you push it back, exhale. You ready?
Yep.
Not so hard, just easy.
It's like yoga breathing.
It is like yoga breathing.
It is very meditative.
All right, now lift it up. There we go. See, now you're fly fishing.
I can't believe I'm fly fishing.
Well, we didn't catch one today, but your first lesson, you've done pretty well.
This is...
Now, we got to teach you how to throw an axe.
Wait, an axe?
I'll hold it right here in the grip, right there.
Oh! She's from Manhattan. What do you want?
There you go, and that's it.
Did no one saw this? Oh, he's at the rooster. Oh my God!
Before they head out of town, Sophia and Doc have just one image left to find: a farm on the French Broad.
That one is kind of tough,
Isn't it? Because this was 1870.
Right.
So this is before the train.
Right before the train.
Right.
You go down River Road, the ways, they're like there's kind of choppy water and it doesn't appear to be too deep. Or it could be a little farther up.
As far as the mountainscape.
That's kind of what I would say.
It could be absolutely anywhere. So figure what better than to talk to some river guides, right? Because this one's probably the hardest one to find for us.
Of course, in this image, we have the farmhouse.
Right.
We're not expecting to have that farmhouse.
So dramatic.
Yeah, so you got a rather serious rock face going right into the French Broad.
That would be downstream from us. It's more rolling kind of.
Oh, okay.
And closer to Tennessee is more jagged and steep and...
Towards Tennessee, though. Well, shoot, you guys have been helpful, but we also left us with a lot of questions.
Fortunately, Doc and Sophia know one of the only local river guides who can run the Tennessee portion of the river.
All right, y'all. You ready to push off?
Almost. Yep, I think we're good.
Got a lot of ground to cover today. Try to find the farm on the French Broad.
There is only one viable clue in this image: the topography, which is much steeper than any of the other images in the French Broad chapter.
Now we're talking.
Wow. This is so beautiful. This is picturesque America, people! Here we go! Woo! Doc, this is beautiful, but the imagery does not really show what we're seeing.
As Sarah said, the topography gets much different when we get further. But you're right, there's no mountains coming straight out of the water here. Whoa. What was that what you were saying about the topography?
Doc, yay! Do you see this?
I see it.
I think this is it.
It's got to be it. That's coming straight out of the French Broad. Look at the saddle, right where the farm would have been, right?
Oh my gosh, you can see the plateau.
Yes. Sarah, do you see this?
Yeah!
All right, guys, there's a big old eddy down here you can catch.
Keep Alan. Keep getting it. We got it.
We gotta earn our vantage points, guys. Work for it. I doubt Harry actually worked this hard to get to this vantage point. I really think this is it.
It is. There's no doubt about it.
I'll never come past this spot and see it the same way again.
No.
That's the point.
It's beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
They've discovered the final image here in Hot Springs, but aren't leaving just yet.
Wow, we've been enjoying your music.
Well, don't slip around out there. Just come on up here and sit down.
Well, thank you so much.
Sheila K. Adams is a world-renowned singer, banjo player, and storyteller. William Ritter is a fiddler and folklorist, carrying on old-time music and traditions.
What kind of music is this?
Well, it's definitely Appalachian music, but it's not exclusively from Appalachia. In fact, you would have found people playing fiddle and banjo music all over the country. It's kind of the rock and roll of its day.
Yeah, music belonged to all of us. If you were going to listen to music, you had to make it yourself.
It's very much melting pot music.
It really is. The banjo is an African instrument.
And the Cherokee were really big in fiddling, and so there's really a lot of different cultures coming together to make this music that we're sitting on the porch playing Hot Springs today.
You got everything.
That's it. It is the musical gumbo.
Would there be any stories that were around this era, like 1870s, things about the drovers, things about the Smokies, all these different locations?
Well, in those days, maybe the drover might be a fiddler because he maybe played the fiddle as he walked along. Sheila actually knows a song about a drover.
Young Emily was a fair maid. She loved to drive her boy. He drove in the main for some gold to gain way down in the lowlands low.
Oh my gosh.
Now we're going to be playing some more. If y'all want to stop by later on.
Yeah,
we would love that.
I would be honored to drop by.
Bring that book.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
I don't know who them people were.
Just 4 hours away, but worlds apart, is Charleston, South Carolina. Elegant homes, preserved architecture, and manicured gardens knit together by waterways, the Venice of America. Charleston is dressed up for the party. And here, Sophia and Doc are diving into their next adventure, the Charleston chapter of Picturesque America.
Let's dig into what we're going to do. It's one of those generic ones like we had in the French Broad. Now we've got a garden in Charleston.
This treasure hunt begins at the historic White Point Garden.
It's the first page of the serial, so we already know it must be really significant.
They picked the state tree.
Right.
But the state tree isn't one that lives forever. So
it's going to be wider, taller, or even not around.
This is just going to be one of the most challenging things we have ever looked for.
I agree.
The palmetto tree is one clue, with only a few others in the image to narrow down the hunt. A piazza to one side of the garden, the circular design, and a fountain.
Why don't we go check out some gardens, narrow it down, and see if we can find the garden?
Yeah, we're only going to narrow down a couple of hundred gardens down to one. Should be no problem.
And
we'll find two antebellum ladies and we'll know where we are.
With the dog.
If we find a dog chasing a butterfly, we got it. Easy.
Charleston is the first place in America to protect and preserve a historic district within city limits. This means the garden from the 1870s might still exist. But there is one looming question. Is it a public or private garden?
Look at this one.
Well, this one we can see in. Well, there's a couple of piazzas.
And kind of circular paths.
This is just a spectacular garden on its own. Well, the question, I guess, is why would he want to paint from the street? He would be invited to the garden, probably.
If it was private, but we don't know yet if it's a public or private garden. So let's just keep this garden as an option.
That should be something we should look at as well.
Yeah.
Another piazza.
It's definitely not the garden.
Probably not. Well, there's a fountain.
Yeah.
And a large lot and piazzas, and yet again, another candidate.
There's gardens in every corner.
So many of them circular. Hang on, hold this.
So many gardens.
We're getting to the point where all of them are candidates.
Yes,
in this
that's
one.
true.
So many gardens, so little time. So Doc and Sophia turned to the locals for clues.
We're looking for these places from... Have you ever seen a place like that?
Never seen this. It almost looks like a backyard.
Have you seen any palmetto trees that look like that?
All over Charleston.
Everywhere in South
Carolina.
Be out in the plantations that are out of town.
Can you help us find the locations, please?
The garden I'm thinking about is on McGree Street. It's one of the only streets that would accommodate a garden of this scale.
There are too many gardens in Charleston to visit in a day. They'll have to dig a little deeper. An antique map shop in historic Charleston is a good place to start.
Oh my goodness. Look at this place.
Good morning.
Morning. Hey.
We're a little bit stuck. Wanted to know if you could help us find a place.
Okay.
From 150 years ago.
Owner Laura Vardell is a true expert on the area. She grew up just blocks away from her shop.
Well, this is the garden we're looking for, but it's probably changed in the last 150 years. And we have very little information really to go by. And you have the verandas here.
There are a number of houses that have the portico on the side. It could be on East Bay Street. It could be over on LeGree Street.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm going to point out something that's sort of funny. It's been more in the recent years that people are putting palmettos in the garden. They were a scrub tree. They grew on the barrier islands. It had to have been planted on purpose.
Okay.
Because you wouldn't have found one on the peninsula.
So what do you really think our odds are of finding this?
I don't think you're going to find it.
Architecture, I forget we're actually...
Their visit to the map shop filled in some of the blanks, but left them with many unanswered questions.
Look.
So they head to meet with local historian Dr. Nick Butler in a public garden.
Very good to see you.
I'm really glad you're meeting us today. We need the people that really understand the local history.
So what are you guys up to?
So we're on a treasure hunt. We are looking for a garden in Charleston, which I know it's like saying there's a skyscraper in New York City.
And this particular garden, there's not a lot of clues, but this building with the piazzas, which actually...
We thought it was this.
Yeah, as soon as we came in, we're like, wait a minute, this is very similar. But of course, that's not uncommon in Charleston.
Right.
So this might look familiar.
Yeah, very famous illustration of Charleston from the waterfront there. That's the southernmost tip of the peninsula, which is White Point Garden, and you see that public park there.
Interesting.
Was this always a public park?
Well, not always, but in 1870, it certainly was a public space. But it would not have been as manicured as this.
But you think this is a public park?
I would say that in 1870, that's much more likely to be a private garden next to a residence.
That should narrow down some of our searches.
Nick offers to show Doc and Sophia all of Charleston, but they only have a short window.
Do you think we'll be able to find the garden?
Depends on how tenacious you are, and I encourage you to keep looking.
We're tenacious.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
See you again.
So tenacious, they head straight to meet Karen Pruitt, former president of the Charleston Garden Club, to visit a few private gardens.
We really kind of need someone that understands the history of gardens. Okay. This is the garden we're looking for.
Circular garden.
Possibly a fountain.
I think it's a topiary. If it were a fountain, I think it would be centered in this circle. This is a hint that the artist has left for you. The garden to the side of a house that has double piazzas, and those would be on a raised basement because that's a very tall house.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good clue.
So let's think about big palmetto trees. It's a focal point visually. It seems to be out of scale with the people and the dog and the topiaries.
Okay.
Karen's practiced eye zeroes in on a candidate nearby.
This is one of the gardens. It has a house with double piazzas on a raised basement.
And this is long, too, so...
Really long.
One of our hypotheses is that Harry couldn't have painted from the sidewalks.
But there's only 2 stories. It doesn't seem as high as the one in the sketch.
I think that there might be others that would work a little bit better.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Karen dives deeper into the past, while Doc and Sophia visit world-famous contemporary painter Jonathan Green.
Hello.
Hello, look who is here.
It's my first time in Charleston, and I feel
First time.
the architecture, the nature, the culture, the color.
Well, this city is a very unique city.
It is.
Every building you look at that has the Carolinopolis Award on it, my ancestors built it and maintained it.
The Carolinopolis Award is given by the Preservation Society of Charleston. It recognizes historic structures that have been restored here.
Charleston is valued because of the skills, the technology, the ingenuity, the love of Black people. And the way I look at my life is not as a person coming from enslavement. I look at my life as a person coming from the people that did all the work.
We're here in South Carolina, and I've been noticing a lot of Gullah Geechee influences, but I really wanted to get to know what the culture is.
Gullah Geechee descend from West African ancestors.
From my perspective of being Gullah Geechee, everything I do is from the foundation of my upbringing, my background, my culture, experiences. So I paint about subjects from very significant aspects of my life.
I love the perspective from the point of view of the women.
And in keeping with West African culture, women seldom wear a solid color because they believe that the more designs, the more it keeps the evil spirit away from them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Doc and Sophia want to find a specific image from picturesque America that portrays a late 19th century cultural scene.
This one is of particular importance to us because this is one of those slice of lives, one of those moments in time.
She's peeling a sweet potato.
And they're being carried in a sweetgrass basket. The clearest link for African Americans to Africa is through the basket. This would be on the King's Highway.
Excellent.
You know, we're in modern times, so you're not going to see too much of that on the main highway anymore.
Now, Sophia and Doc are determined to figure out where the roadside stands once stood.
Look at the stands. Oh my gosh.
There's a few of them, but they're all abandoned.
Wait, please pull over. There's a historical marker.
What does it say?
Sweetgrass baskets. I can't read it that fast. Look!
Glad you spotted that.
All right, so
All right.
let's see.
Unique to the Lowcountry.
Just like the book said.
Right.
You think we should keep going this way?
Yeah.
Then we're on track.
What was once a country road is now a 4-lane highway.
Oh, that one's seen better days. Look at that.
But Sophia and Doc are not giving up. They're hoping to learn more about this West African art form.
Imagine when they were all full.
Their next stop, the Sweetgrass Pavilion, to meet Lynette Uson and her family.
I was taught this art by my great-grandmother, and I'm teaching the grandkids how to do it today. You'll see the pine needles, sweetgrass. The thick brown is bulrush, and the South Carolina state tree is the palmetto palm that we bind everything together with. Everything is local and natural from the earth.
So can you tell us a little bit more about these roadside stands that used to line the highway?
Oh, yes. When I was a child, I used to be along the roadside stands with my great-grandmother. During those days, just about every other house along the highways used to have basket stands. But today, after all the redevelopment, it took a lot of that away. art form originally got started here when they brought our ancestors over to cultivate the rice in the rice fields. This is a rice fanner. This is what they used to use to winnow the rice.
To separate the grains?
To separate the
So
grains.
straight up utilitarian, but it happens to be beautiful.
Exactly. You can come on out with me. We'll pull a few strands just so you can see what it's like. This is the sweetgrass. What you see out in the marsh is bulrush. You need your gator boot, sharp knife or machete. That's the one
She's got the boots, I got the knife, so I'm ready.
But two of you better get together and go out there. But beware of the worms, the snakes, and gators.
I'll take on the snakes. You take the gators.
Lynette invites Doc and Sophia to one of the remaining roadside stands. It's run by her cousins.
Sophia and Doc, this is my cousin Alethea I told you all about earlier today.
Good seeing you all.
One of the original stands along the highway here. What is that beautiful book?
This is why Sophia and I are actually here. So here is a roadside stand.
Look at that. Look at that. Sitting down on the ground, doing this thing. Little horse and buggy.
Right, and sheep leaving
Wow.
This is 1870, and so 150 years later, your family tradition is continuing.
Still going. And just like Alethea and her sisters, they still sit out here and weave every day.
Right.
Mhm.
Just keep it going, that's all.
I think we've got this one.
Yes.
Another image found, but the hunt isn't over. Doc and Sophia meet up with Karen again. She's uncovered a surprising new clue about the mysterious garden image.
We got it.
No way.
We're celebrating.
You've cracked the code?
This is going to blow you away.
Tell us.
In the right-hand corner, that is definitely a Charleston piazza. There's garden to the left of that, a deep garden, and there are not that many properties in Charleston that exhibit that. So that narrows it down to about 5 properties.
Oh.
Really, that few?
That few. And this is where I started thinking outside the box. Yes, I'm looking for a garden, and that's what I've spent all this time doing, but we're not looking for a garden.
A bit of mystery there. Welcome back to our live edition of America, the Land We Live In. I'm Beryl Dakers here at our SCETV studios, along with Bradley Fuller and Doc Varn, whom we just saw exploring our very own Charleston. Now, as a South Carolinian, it is always exciting when our local histories are shared on the national stage. That's what makes partly SCETV so special every day. It's because we get the opportunity to share South Carolina with the world. And we can only do that thanks to our viewers and our donors. As you enjoy this program, please consider making a gift to support the show and so many others. You do this by calling 800-256-8535, scanning the QR code on your screen, or simply donating at scetv.org.
That's right, Beryl. Donations to the ETV endowment really do help us bring incredible content to South Carolina year-round. Whether it's one of Beryl's amazing documentaries like The World of Cecil or my own show, Sonatas and Soundscapes, these programs simply wouldn't be possible without the generosity of our donors. Now, as part of our spring campaign and this live edition of America, the Land We Live In, Doc has a few special incentives for SCETV donors, maybe that don't involve plunging into a river, but still some very exciting opportunities. Tell us more, Doc.
Well, I will talk about those and talk about all the things that you have to do to find these locations. So I will be doing a short talk, hopefully here on the Horseshoe at USC, and it'll go deep dive into the history, as well as about the artists themselves, and what it takes to actually discover them again and how we can protect them for the future.
Thanks so much for sharing. It really sounds like a cool opportunity. And as you were seeing there in the show, Charleston is just full of history.
Yes.
Some of it is right in your face. You know, you can't miss it. And then other things do require a bit more digging. You were searching for a garden in Charleston where we left off.
That's right.
Now, unlike the French Broad River, literal river, or Lover's Leap Overlook, this massive rock face, this garden that you were searching for was a bit more difficult. What made you want to investigate?
Well, because we've got to find them all. Absolutely. If they're in the book, I want to find them, find what state they're in, and hopefully protect them for the future. But it's also an education opportunity. Thank God Charleston Gardens still exist. And
Beautiful places.
We get to visit them, and we get to share them with your audience.
Well, they are truly just magnificent, and I love walking the streets of Charleston, you know, sometimes at night and just peering through those wrought iron fences, just amazing stuff. Well, that is super appealing, but what's also appealing, you have some special offers here for listeners, for viewers. There's this really cool gift, and in fact, it's right in front of us, a chance to get a custom-made walking stick created by Doc himself. This unique treasure is very limited though, so if you want to snag yours, give us a call at 800-256-8535 and make a gift of $500 or more for a truly one-of-a-kind thank you gift. Doc, what goes into making these walking sticks? I assume you're not picking up the first branch you see.
No, I do actually harvest them sustainably, and I carve them green in most cases. So here's one I'm working on right now that Mother Nature did a little bit of the carving as well. So it has a perfect place to put your hand, a perfect place for the grip.
Wow.
And then I augmented it with the Tree of Life. So this will eventually be shellacked and cut to size for the hiker. And then we will be attaching the Preserving a Picturesque America hiking medallion, which has the hiker, except for he has a paint stick instead.
Yeah. Perfect.
But the thing about this that's so special is this is kind of a gateway to other adventures. This is the one I took actually on our trip. So this is the one from the film itself. And I've carved into it the symbol that's at the top of Picturesque America in the inlaid leather. So I have fun doing that. But then the next step for you, the viewer, once you get your hiking stick, put that on there and then go to other places, wonderful state parks, wonderful national parks. It's a wonderful opportunity to have a way of remembering all of your adventures.
You know, and I've been to some of these state parks and national parks, and there's all kinds of souvenirs to collect. Some a little more fragile, some a little more expensive than others, but this seems like a way to really customize something that's very durable and you know, accessorize, look stylish while out in the forest.
Absolutely. You got a little bit of bragging rights. So I'll be putting in different symbols, and I do bark carving, so I do this while things are still green and gives you the opportunity to add the medallions one by one. So this way I carve the bark in a way that's all interlaced into your hiking medallions. And here's a place for my coffee cup.
Oh, that's snazzy now. a little campfire coffee there.
Absolutely.
Well, and now if a viewer were to take one of these prizes, they're going to be customized for
their height.
The right height?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So I know there's a technique to everything, you know, bearing the weight down and walking, so that's awesome.
Having a third leg this is a perfect companion.
Well, yeah, just incredible. And the detail on these is amazing. Just beautiful how it's so natural, but at the same time you can tell that a human being has really put their care into this. We were talking earlier about, you know, this era, the 19th century, kind of coming as a response to industrialization and, you know, this craftsmanship put into the book, into getting back into nature. And I see that with this as well, just, you know, kind of a holdover from that in the best way of bringing this craftsmanship back. So again, this is something you can take as a keepsake. You can take it out on the trail or both, you know, leave it in your living room and display and
great for your grandchildren.
Your grandchildren, your family members, maybe if you're the type who likes to brag a bit about where you've traveled and you know the parks you've been to, this can be yours, this wonderful hiking stick made by Doc. So call us now, 800-256-8535, and let's go see if Doc finds that garden.
Karen is zeroing in on the mysterious garden in Charleston. She's narrowed it down to about 5 properties, but all this time she was overlooking the biggest clue.
We're not looking for a garden.
Okay.
What is center forward is a scruffy palmetto tree. We're not talking about a beautiful tree that has blossoms on it that are fragrant. We're not talking about a tree that has beautiful leaves in the fall. Why a big, chunky palmetto tree? Didn't get it.
We're pretty sure the editor added.
This gave Karen a new idea to dig even deeper in time.
This is going to blow you away.
Tell us.
Karen discovered one property of particular interest.
My research on this indicates that the first 3 owners of this property were Revolutionary War heroes. During the Revolutionary War, Fort Moultrie in Charleston Harbor was outnumbered by the British. And here out in Charleston Harbor sits Sir Peter Parker with all of his British ships. And he's ready to blow them to kingdom come. But Fort Moultrie was fortified with logs from palmetto trees. A fusillade of all these cannonballs comes into the palmetto logs and just bounces off of them like sponges because they're fibrous inside. The spongy palmetto was triumphant over the British. It became the revered icon of South Carolina and was added to the state flag in 1861. Our flag is representative of this battle, Fort Moultrie.
So why were they emphasizing the revolutionary symbol in their home?
Because it is more of an icon rather than a horticultural symbol. The original owner of the house was a soldier who was at Fort Moultrie when the British were firing on Charleston Harbor. And he lived here at this house. That's why he would plant a palm tree in his yard to begin with.
This is essentially...
The cover artwork isn't about the beauty of the garden, but a statement about the significance of the tree. While Karen contacts the current owner of this historic property, Sophia and Doc are invited to hit the water.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you doing?
Tia Clark is the Gullah Geechee crabbing guru of Charleston.
I'm going to teach you guys how to crab today. These are Atlantic blue crabs.
Doc and Sophia are about to get their hands dirty and learn a thing or two about local traditions.
They used to say girls paint their nails and guys don't. So that would be one way of knowing that that's a female crab without having to touch it.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Let's see who's got it. Pull, 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 pull. Come on, Sophia.
This is what's gonna make it work.
Is it heavy? Oh, he's crab dancing. Come on, Sophia, come on. Hot no. Toss it right back out. Quick, quick, quick. Get it out of the water. You gotta go, go, go.
And breathe.
Stop that stroke. You got it. Oh, be in there. Yeah! Woo! That's what I'm talking about. That is beautiful. Just beautiful.
It's a girl.
Yes. You know why do you know that?
Because she's got pretty nails.
All right, pretty nails.
Wow, I've never done this.
Now that you catch one, you can't keep them all. That crab needs to be a minimum of 5 inches. So I got this, a 5-inch regulation blue crab. That's what I'm talking about. That is a keeper right there.
Tia's relationship with the water is all about give and take. Take and give back.
Oysters are a keystone species here in our estuary, and without oysters in this water, no other life is gonna live here. And what we have behind you is an oyster reef.
She has championed an oyster restoration project right off her dock.
So we take galvanized wire, and when they land on them, they start actually clustering like you can see here on these pilings. One male oyster will filter 50 gallons of water a day.
Per day.
So this reef is filtering our water. It's a habitat for species that live in here. And for me, it's pretty cool to just take trash and you put it back in the water and it makes all this life, you know?
It's not just out here to have fun, see where your food comes from. You're actually putting it back into the place that produces the crabs.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's changed my whole life, so.
And hopefully thanks you for providing dinner tonight.
Yes, yeah. All right, speaking of that, let's get on it. All right.
And now, Tia and Gullah Geechee chef Amethyst Ganaway are cooking up an authentic Lowcountry meal.
Doc, you want to go ahead and get us one out of it?
I will.
He really is a maniac.
You need your hands for holding the book.
You
guys, this
Well, we are in South Carolina. Ain't nobody gonna bless the food.
Sophia and Doc are turning their attention to another mystery image, a live oak on the Ashley. The hunt for this new treasure begins at Magnolia Plantation. The text indicates that Harry Fenn came here because it was known for its extraordinary oaks.
Ta-da!
I'm not getting a lot of visual clues. There's no structures.
Unfortunately, they didn't go really into detail about the exact location. They talk about these massive trees with the moss, cathedral-looking enclaves.
Live oaks are the redwoods of the South. They live hundreds of years and grow to be massive.
Maybe we should start closer to the Ashley. Ready? Let's find the biggest tree we can find
We
right
gotta
now.
look for something over 300. Well, hello.
Hello. Hi.
We're trying to find these places that were featured in Picturesque America
Okay.
150 years ago.
Wow, cool.
As a color display manager, Sydney Schwiebert is an expert on everything that grows here.
Can you help guide us on the path?
Of course, yeah. Now you have me intrigued.
There's the magnolia.
And there's a lot of Spanish moss.
Sydney points out Spanish moss is neither Spanish nor a moss.
Would this have been a trail that they would have taken?
Absolutely.
So we could at least walk the path and see if anything sparks.
Sydney sends them towards an array of giant live oaks. Could one of these be the live oak on the Ashley?
Oh my.
These are the only ones that would have been still around when Harry was here, probably around 300 years old.
So, do you think this could be the tree?
I think so many of them could be the tree. I'm seeing a lost limb here.
The one that's broken?
Right,
Yeah.
right. That limb looks like it's 150 years old. And we also have to take into account there's been hurricanes.
Let's not kid ourselves. It's really going to be quite a challenge to get the tree on the Ashley.
As much as this fellow is amazing, I don't think this is the tree.
Doc and Sophia leave empty-handed. No live oak on the Ashley. But one remaining clue leads them to Drayton Hall, another stop on Harry Fenn's tour.
Oh my gosh,
more.
we found more trees.
Every time we go around the corner, there's something unbelievable.
But this one actually could be it. This could be it.
This could be it. This could be it.
This could be it.
If it still exists, the actual live oak would be more than 300 years old.
Imagine what they've seen.
But that's not the only challenge.
What I'm so worried about is that, we've lost the tree that he, drew 150 years ago.
Many old trees have been lost to hurricanes.
What about that one over there?
I think that's a better idea because this is a cluster. You could not draw any one of these and not add the rest of the trees.
Okay, well, we need to talk to someone that works here.
Drayton Hall is the oldest preserved plantation house in the South, completed around 1750.
We're in awe of this.
Hi, welcome to Drayton Hall.
We're kind of on a little bit of a treasure hunt.
Excellent.
They say a live oak on the Ashley, so the details are a little bit vague.
This is the Ashley, right out this door.
So we're looking for a 350, 400-year-old tree.
Do you have those in stock?
We do.
Doc, let's go.
Let's go find a tree.
All right.
Well, look at all these trees on the Ashley.
So out here on the front of the house, we have two of the trees that are predating the house.
Okay,
yes.
right.
But the little lakes weren't there when Harry came, so.
They were not.
Well, that's very important because when we're looking at the original artwork, we don't see the pond in the drawing.
Pond is new.
All right. Well,
luck.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Welcome.
We're gonna go to this one now?
Yeah, there's something in
How
the
long
illustration.
do you think it takes to get there?
You mean to stroll there? Not long at all.
I'll race you. Don't drop the book. Look at this.
It's
The
got the
girth
right
is-
girth. Wait, check this out. Look, the entrance road is right there. I didn't even notice
my
that
gosh.
before because they put it real subtly in.
Wait, I
we got
did
an
not
indentation
notice
here.
this.
There's always something new appearing.
So wait, if the road is right, then
This part of the road, and that really starts clinching it for me.
hold on a minute. Do you see this branch? I think it's that one.
Because add 150 years to
Oh
this
my gosh.
limb,
I,
whoop, right
I
there.
think we found the tree.
This is it.
the live
This
oak on
is
the
it.
Ashley. Okay, now I have to go photograph it.
I got to go paint it.
Another one for the books. But one mystery remains. a garden in Charleston. Back in Charleston's historic district,
Oh, look, it's New York ice cream.
a reason to fuel up for the rest of the treasure hunt.
Oh, there we go.
That looks so good.
Cheers.
Wow, the storm's coming, so we should keep going before it rains.
Wait, before we do.
Another marker.
I always key in on our date, our period of 1870.
Doc, this says it's the birthplace of preservation. So we're really in a location that could help us find the locations before it rains. I think we really need to hurry.
Wait, let's see if this is open.
Well, I want to welcome y'all now to the library at 20 South Battery.
This house at 20 South Battery is a boutique hotel owned by Dr. Jack Schaefer. He completed an historic renovation of this famous property in 2020.
You know, not many houses have a library like this, 5 stories up.
We were walking outside and we came across the plaque saying, this is the birthplace of preservation. So we knew we had to come in.
In 1920, Charlestonians met here at 20 South Battery to start the very first historic preservation society in the U.S.
Fortunately for all of us, our forefathers in this city said, we're going to keep our old houses pretty and nice.
Over 100 years later, the preservation efforts here would earn the high honor of a Carolopolis Award.
I don't know if this is in your library by chance.
It is not.
Picturesque America is our guidepost, and one of the places they focused on was none other than Charleston, South Carolina. This goes through some of the most important places, and one of them is...
Oh my gosh.
20 South Battery.
It's right here.
There we are.
You know, famous people came here to a party to honor William Cullen Bryant, who was a poet and editor of New York Evening Post.
You know who else William Cullen Bryant is?
I don't.
He is the editor of this book. See?
Whoa.
Signed by William Cullen Bryant.
Oh, no way. Well, he's the one that described this library. He made a speech here.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills.
And he's the one that said, we were at this ball and with all the aristocratic men and women of Charleston are so proud. And I visited this wonderful library, the finest library in the Southeast that had etchings and fine books. And that's why I did this library like this, exactly from William Cullen Bryant. Well, how come I don't have this book? I don't understand.
One of the places always been kind of a question to us, plainly described as a garden in Charleston. We've been just looking for the clues in the picture alone. This is our biggest challenge of the whole adventure.
Now that we're here and we know William Cullen Bryant stayed here, do you think this possibly could be White Point Gardens?
Just outside Jack's front door is White Point Garden, where Doc and Sophia began their Charleston treasure hunt.
This looks like a public garden because you see they're strolling, the dog is there.
We've had that debate.
So that very well, if it's not White Point Gardens, I don't know where it would be.
Oh my gosh, I'm wrapping my head around Harry Fenn being here, William Cullen Bryant being here.
I feel like it's a little bit of a homecoming to bring back his work to your home.
Oh, it may not leave. In fact, put that back. Put it right there. Looks very nice right there. But I want to tell you, in Charleston, we love having guests. We're going to have some people over tonight. Just join us for our cocktail party.
I'll go get my dress.
Jack has a convincing argument that the garden in Charleston is the public garden steps from his door.
Okay, this is the one I wanted you to see.
But Karen is set on her theory.
The newspapers in the 1940s said that there was a 2-story palmetto tree here.
Miss Karen!
There's your piazzas on a high-raised basement.
3 floors.
3 floors. There is a palmetto tree there.
Did we find it?
I finally realized that it was not about gardens, but about a palmetto tree.
I have never been so excited to see a palmetto and a garden in my life.
It was the chain of title that made me realize that this house was the house, and this garden was the garden.
At long last, if the mysterious garden is indeed private, this must be the one.
We found it.
A successful treasure hunt in the Carolinas comes to an end.
Oh, y'all look great. I've been looking for you for 150 years.
But before Sophia and Doc head out on their next adventure, Jack hosts them for one last hurrah.
I cannot think of a better way to discover America than to picturesque America.
65 cereals, over 950 pieces of artwork, all across America, East, West Coast, and everywhere in between. It's a bit of an undertaking, but we're going to find each and every one of those.
It's been a profound experience for kind of my American story. It really is so touching. You're part of my family history, my personal love, and you're stuck with us.
Wonderful people. Thank you for everything. Cheers.
What a fun show, and so much loving attention here on the Carolinas. Thank you for spending time with us tonight, SCETV. I'm Bradley Fuller, here in the studio with Beryl Dakers and Scott Doc Varn. We're so glad you tuned in to see this great new show and to learn more about how you can take a piece of picturesque America home with you. As a reminder, we have two great events to choose from when you make a gift of $250 or more. Fun premiums that start as low as $6 a month, and the opportunity to get a custom carved walking stick from Doc himself. All as a thank you for being an ETV viewer and ETV endowment member. Now, viewers can select thank you gifts that start at just $6 a month or a one-time gift of $72. At this level, donors can receive the Preserving a Picturesque America hiking medallion and the Picturesque America art card, a very handy 5x7 frameable that has Doc's own image on the front and the original on the back. Really great piece here. And for $12 a month or a one-time gift of $144, donors will also receive a paperback copy of the Picturesque America, or The Land We Live In, The French Broad. It has some of those wonderful images in it, including that really breathtaking one of Lover's Leap. And for $18 a month or a one-time gift of $216, donors can receive the hiking medallion, paperback book, art card, and a classic PBS tote bag to store it all in. You'll need something to carry all this great material. So to select any of these options, give us a call at 800-256-8535. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit scetv.org now. For more information, again, the QR code on your screen, a call at 800-256-8535 or scetv.org.
Thank you, Bradley. So far, our generous donors have raised more than $80,000 during this, our Spring Into Support campaign. We even have a donor for a walking stick already. Congratulations, Scott.
I'm ready to get carving.
But it's not over yet. If you haven't made your gift yet, there is no better time than right now, because your gift to the ETV Endowment directly supports the programs, the shows, and news you rely on every day. We're so honored to be your go-to for South Carolina stories, PBS favorites, and more. And it's thanks to viewers like you, as the saying goes, that we get to bring storytellers like Doc right here into our studio. Investing in this station is a gift to our community, and we couldn't be more grateful. As we wrap up this evening, we do want to share a few questions and comments, but we want to look at some of the things. You know, I've been looking at this box on the desk all night and wondering what the heck it was.
This is how I create mine when I hit the trail. Once I finally find a spot, I paint with walnut ink. It used to be called the poor man's ink, but now it's kind of rare. I make my own ink and then I paint the sites, and this is from the live oak on the Ashley. When we finally found it, I got an opportunity to paint it.
Absolutely. And that palmetto tree was where?
I can't tell you quite where it is.
Still a mystery.
It's still a mystery.
You know what's so fascinating about this show to me, though, is that it's a little bit of a lot of things. I mean, it's an art show, it's a nature show, it's an adventure show, it's a history show. I'm not sure what we call it.
I call it wonderful, and I call it a privilege to be able to do this. For me to walk in the footsteps of these original artists that did so much and to paint in their brushstrokes is really a blessing.
Well, and I love how particular it is in some aspects, like specific places may be hard to find, but these are real places that you can still visit if you put in the time and the research.
That's right.
But as you said, it's also this universal thing that was a project to bring the country together after a time of serious division, and just doing it through beautiful art and art that you're now emulating and making your own ink for.
Well, the message that they put out in the original Picturesque America is very important still today, is that we have more in common than we do differences.
Wow, and you're really saying that to our viewers, even though Bradley's standing behind us here. But that's okay. One of the viewers did want to know, though, how you find all this stuff when, if you're talking something, a picture from 150 years ago, nature itself has expanded.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't look exactly as it did back
Sometimes
then.
the names even change. So what they may have called one thing then has changed. They may be renamed the mountain, etc. So you got to look for the visual clues. But the biggest trick is to put a map, just lay that out. And every time they mention a place, put a pin in it and keep going till you find their exact route. And then we just take that route again. And hopefully they'll jump out at us. And then there's, of course, the historians and all the lovely people we meet along the way. They're the real key.
Yeah, that was fascinating tonight, looking at all of these Charleston characters and the artists, and you know, everybody was just the crab lady. We've met before here at ETV.
Tia's wonderful.
Seeing Tia and just it was a fabulous experience. We actually felt like we were there partaking with you.
Well, she's brought so much of the conservation aspect back, and that's what we also hope to do with this project, to not just bring awareness, but to raise funds for these conservationists who are protecting these places.
Okay.
Well, just truly incredible stuff. Thanks so much for sharing again tonight. We really do just want to give you our heartfelt gratitude for all this work, starting in the Carolinas and coming into the studio tonight.
Thank you.
And we do appreciate your being with us, Doc. You got to come back.
I'll come back.
Especially since this is really home.
It is. It's a homecoming for me. This is my university, and this is my hometown.
Wow. Can't wait to see you sitting out there on the horseshoe carving away, or well, talking. You won't be carving that day, but you'll be talking.
I'll be talking, maybe carving afterwards.
Okay. All right. Folks, there is still time for you to dial that number. You know it by heart, I'm sure, by now. So if you have not joined the ETV Endowment family, do it now. From all of us here at SCETV,
good night, and thanks so much for watching.
This program was made possible in part by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. You're watching PBS.